everyone. It's Julian Crypto, and I'm here with James Pelton from another YouTube channel. Great to see you here today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to talk crypto. So really enjoy the space. So I could talk for hours about this. So we'll see how long this stream goes. But yeah, happy to be here.
So let's talk about it. Feel easy, and nobody probably will watching us today, or maybe few people. I don't know. I don't care because this is going for my different YouTube channel, for English YouTube channel, and I will be posting it also on my Polish YouTube channel, so more people will see it tomorrow. So how do you feel about Bitcoin right now?
Feeling pretty good. I'm not one of those people that watches the charts every day. I don't recommend that people do that. You're just going to stress yourself out because there's these micro movements where just as different news comes out, and anytime that there's any move in the markets, people try to explain after the fact. Oh, it's because there's war in the Middle East right now. Oh, but the halving is tomorrow, so now that's what's making it pump today. And then this ETF was launched, and you can do a little bit of that, but I more have the philosophy of you find things that you believe in long term, you dollar cost average in. You don't watch it day after day and try to time the markets. I'm not good at that. I don't have time to do that personally. Some people do. Some people love, technical analysis and things like that, which is fine. But I believe in Bitcoin long term. I think at some point we're going to reach 250K Bitcoin. At some point we're going to reach $1 million Bitcoin. So I'm just accumulating. I may take, if we reach all-time highs, I may take a little profit knowing, okay, there'll probably be some kind of a backsliding, and then I can get back in there and take a little bit of profit. But in general, I believe in Bitcoin. I'm going to hold Bitcoin. I'm holding several Bitcoin right now, and I plan to hold them till $1 million.
Until your death, hopefully.
Possibly. I am a big fan of taking profit. But one thing you can do with Bitcoin, which, maybe we'll talk about this later, but you can use your Bitcoin as collateral for taking out loans. And you don't want to get liquidated, so you want to keep your percentage pretty low. But like 50% of my Bitcoin I can use as collateral. Then as long as Bitcoin doesn't fall to 35K and I get liquidated, that would be a disaster. That would be very bad news. But then
it can happen.
What was that?
It could happen.
It could happen. And most protocols will let you, when you take out a loan, you can add liquidity. So if you're about to get liquidated, you can add some liquidity in to knock it. But if we woke up tomorrow and Bitcoin was at 35K, I might have a different answer today for what I'm talking about. I'd probably be like, oh no, the sky is falling. And I see that a lot too. I don't know, Julian, if you see this as well, but when the market's down a little bit, everybody, on Twitter and YouTube is, oh, it's the end of crypto as we know it. And then days like today where we're up, we're not up a ton, I guess, today, but 1.5% up today. Everybody's back bullish and, oh yeah, Bitcoin's the future. And I don't want to be swayed by the day-to-day market swings that way. I want to be more principled in my approach. I believe in Bitcoin long-term. I like these ETFs that have been filed. I'm going to dollar cost average and then hold on to it.
Yeah, so basically what you just said is that people are reacting to Bitcoin price. And yeah, it's definitely like this, because when Bitcoin is going up, as we can see right here, funding rates are positive, more and more positive. That means that more people are trading longs. And that is only after BTC is going up, not before, most of the times. On the other hand, when Bitcoin is going down, like after FTX collapse or banks in US collapse, people started to shorten BTC, but after that events, not before, as you can see. So you just said that people are reacting too late to the price corrections, and yeah, it's visible here on charts. When it's low, people are believing that it will go to hell. When it's up, they believe that it will go to the moon. And it was every single time like this, every single time.
Yep, absolutely. I see that. I actually, when, Bitcoin just recently hit all-time highs, and I had a number of people message me who had been out of crypto for a while, and they said, "Hey, Bitcoin reached all-time highs. How do we buy in?" And I was trying to, just the way they even worded the message, I was like, "Hey, this is not how you're supposed to do trading of any kind. You're not supposed to buy at all-time highs." But it's just the way people think. I call them chart chasers, and I can tend to be that sometime. You miss, like, Spectre is one where I missed Spectre. But then I don't want to be a chart chaser where I'm just like, oh, it's up this amount, I should get in now. So yeah, don't be a chart chaser. You be principled, find the projects you like, find the projects that you believe in long term. I'm a big fan of dollar cost averaging and not trying to time the markets. And then you hold on until you're ready to take a little bit of profit. And that's been my philosophy. It's worked really well for me here.
Yeah. So, what are projects that you are in right now, and you are holding it besides Bitcoin?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So when I'm looking at a project, I'm looking I've learned this over the years. I've been in many projects that have failed. I've been in many rug pulls, things like that. What I'm looking for now is it's the same thing as when I was doing venture capital. So for those of you who don't know my story, I wrote some software and exited. Then I had a bunch of money. I started doing venture capital, real estate, things like that. Then I got into crypto. So I'm a little later to the crypto game than a lot of people are. But it
What
took
year
me.
you get into crypto? Which year?
Yes. Yeah, I got into crypto. It would have been like end of 2021. So, I mean, I had dabbled with Bitcoin and Ethereum before that, but I didn't know anything about DeFi or meme coins or anything like that. And then started getting into that stuff at the end of 2021. And then one thing I didn't realize is I didn't treat these coins and these projects as businesses. So when I was in venture capital, I had a very strict list of questions that I would ask before I invested in anything venture capital wise. But then when I got into crypto, for some reason I didn't have those same questions. My questions were, I don't even really have questions. It was just kind of gut feeling or what do you think is cool or anything like that. But then over time, I realized, oh, it's really crypto is no different than venture capital. It's the same thing. Is you're backing a team, you're backing a project, you're looking for revenue, you're looking for a problem that they're solving. And so since then, I've kind of shifted. Okay, here's what I'm looking for: a good team, a problem that's being solved in some way, revenue that's coming in from somewhere. That's what I'm looking for in a project. So my number one right now is Bitcoin. Just because I think Bitcoin's proven itself. As soon as the ETFs were filed, there's no way that Bitcoin can go anywhere. And I'm going to knock on wood, because anytime you say it could never happen, that's when it happens. But BlackRock, has $13 trillion in investable assets. They're not going to let Bitcoin fall off the map. It's now a part of their investment strategy. It's a part of their customers' portfolios. And there's too much money out there. BlackRock has enough where they could buy the whole crypto market. They could just buy everything and just say, we are now, the Bitcoin sellers wouldn't let that happen. They wouldn't. There's a lot of people who say, I'm never selling my Bitcoin, especially if they know it's BlackRock that's coming to buy it. But as soon as that happens, Bitcoin is number one. Ethereum, you have to be a little bit bullish on, just because it's, Bitcoin's the granddaddy, Ethereum's the grand mommy of crypto. So you have to be a little bit bullish on them. I am still bullish on XRP. I still do think that XRP is going to be. There's a lot of banks that have said we're going to use XRP. The World Economic Forum, which I'm not a huge fan of personally, but they're partnered with Ripple. And from my experience, the World Economic Forum tends to get what they want, and what they want to happen tends to happen. So I am big on XRP. And then getting out of the top 10, some of the other like Avalanche, I'm a big fan of AVAX. I think they have great technology that will open up a lot of possibilities for people. I am a big fan of Polygon still. I know some people are off the Polygon train, but when I look at real world companies that are looking to get into blockchain, Nike, Adidas, Disney, they've all said, hey, when we're ready to do blockchain things, we're going to use Matic. We're going to use Polygon. So I'm big on that. And then if you want to get to real out there altcoins, my number one is BioFi. And that's because I'm an advisor for their team. I worked with them a lot, and then they said, hey, do you want to be an advisor for us? And I hold a ton of BioFi tokens. They just launched a mobile phone to Africa, and a portion of all their phone sales is going to go to buying BioFi off the open market. So I think we're going to see huge potential for BioFi. It's still at a really low market cap. And so, whenever you get to those low market cap coins, you have big potential. That's where your 100x's, 1000x's come from. But that's also where you could potentially lose everything, so big risk, big reward. But those are kind of the main ones I would say that I'm looking at right now. Then there's a few, in between. Some of the AI ones I'm looking at a little bit. Storage chain is another one that I'm a big fan of. But really looking for things that disrupt traditional business, change the way that it's done. Flux is another one. They're offering servers that are on the blockchain. And I'm working with another company who their server cost is going from $9,000 a month to $900 per month, switching from basically Amazon AWS to Flux. And so you're saving, you don't have quite the same user friendliness as you do on Amazon, but you're saving $8,000 a month. There's a lot of companies that would love to do that. We'll take advantage of that. So I don't know. That was a lot of them there, but happy to dive into any of those more. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
So about the BioFi, I have a question. What about the revenue? How much of percentage of their revenue they are putting into buyback?
They haven't announced that publicly. They're very careful with SEC regulations and things like that. So they keep some of their numbers pretty close to their chest, which can frustrate some people. You'd like to know this percent from every phone sale is going to go to buyback. They haven't been that specific about it, just that some of the revenue. So it really depends how well this phone ends up doing. And they have a lot of other revenue sources as well. It's called SayTech technology, where it's biometrics, but it's encrypted on the blockchain. So it's biometrics like your face scan and your voice. But unlike Apple, where it just sits on your local device, this will be global, but it'll be encrypted on the blockchain, but it can be used in multiple places. One of their goals is for you to never have to type in a password again, where biometrics just controls everything. So you never have to go to a website and type in a password. Everything is just biometrics.
Something like a world chain. Right now.
Kind of like World Chain, but without the creepiness of having everybody go scan your eyes in exchange for tokens and things like that.
They are scanning the eyes, but you're scanning your fingerprint, right?
Yes, well, and for the way BioFi is doing with SayTech is, just like so their phone that they just launched, you do your biometrics on it similar to how you do on your iPhone. The only difference is that instead of it being stored locally or being stored on Apple or Google, it just goes encrypted straight to the blockchain. And then now it's there for if you get a new phone, you don't have to redo everything. You can just do same biometrics. It goes to the blockchain, verifies, okay, this person with this biometric scan here. So yes, kind of similar to World Chain. I don't know. World Chain kind of creeped me out a little bit. I don't like that they were doing it in exchange for tokens, and it wasn't you doing it. It was like, hey, please do this for us. And then it's like, well, what are you going to be using that for? And what's going to be the purpose of it? But it is a similar idea, I suppose.
But there are a few projects, One is WorldCoin from Sam Altman, OpenAI, OpenAI CEO. The second huge project probably is Toncoin with their chain also from Telegram. So there are some projects that are with huge potential because of who is building them. What do you think about Toncoin right now? Toncoin is after huge grow last month, and today USDT announced that they are starting minting tethers on USDTs on their blockchain on Toncoin.
Oh, okay, I hadn't
Toncoin.
heard that news. So I mean that's pretty cool. Anytime you're getting at some of these higher, sometimes I feel like, oh, I missed the boat on that one. Like the market cap is a lot of times when I'm looking at projects, I look at, okay, what are they doing? What would I estimate that their market cap could end up at for what they're doing there? And that's one thing I've noticed about crypto is a lot of the valuations. It's not one for one like valuating a venture capital fund, but I think Toncoin is, what is it, 20 billion market cap maybe?
Yeah, something like this.
Okay, so to me, I mean that's a very large market cap. Like that's
They
we're
have 1
well
billion.
into.
They have 1 billion users.
True.
I mean
So I mean,
Telegram.
yeah. Oh wow, in Telegram they have 1 billion users.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay, I did not know that. That is pretty crazy. So I mean, is there room to go up from 20 billion? Perhaps. I mean, you're probably not going to see 100x. I mean, there's probably no chance of that. That would end up at 2 trillion market cap. Might see a 10x possibly. It kind of depends how heavy this bull market goes. I'm kind of wondering too when we're in the bull market, like it keeps teasing us like it's bull market, it's green everywhere, go put in your money. And then we have these pullbacks that are sometimes big, and sometimes around war and things like that, black swan events and whatever. But Toncoin, I might consider that as like it's not going to be something that's going to 100x, but you're also not going to lose all your money. And so it might just be a safer play where you're kind of, put it as one of the foundations of your portfolio, put a little bit into. But I have not looked into Toncoin a ton personally. I just know about it, but it's not been one I've researched extensively.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear from you about this projects. You have great energy. I feel that you are, just exploding with energy right now, and it's also visible on your channel. And you are doing channel about quitting your job, about not working from 9 to 5. What about this? What about online businesses and your experience, your past experience? How you started your YouTube channel? You have 50,000 subscribers right now.
Yeah. No, it's been quite a journey. So I'm actually a computer programmer by default. That was my 9 to 5, was I helped get a bunch of companies on to e-commerce back when that was the thing to do. And then eventually, just decided I didn't like the flexibility of a 9 to 5. Is, if I wanted to take a day off, it was hard to do that. If my kids wanted to go to a movie or we wanted to go on a trip, I was just like, I don't have flexibility. So I started several different software companies, and then I found one that really worked out. So it was called Mobile Text Alerts, and it sent out mass text messages, kind of started the text marketing craze, which now everybody gets spam text messages. At least here in the States, everybody gets spam text messages about this and that. I apologize. That's one of my contributions to the world that I feel a little guilty about. But I started that business and really just learned on the fly about how to start a business, how to grow a business, how to do hiring. I started hiring customer support and sales, started hiring programmers. Then I needed a CTO, then I needed a COO. And eventually we grew to the point, had 12 employees and 30,000 customers. and was able to exit that for about $6 million. And then that's where I got my capital to start my investing journey.
So you sold your company for 6 million, yeah?
Correct. Yep. Sold that back in 2020.
So it was making around 1 million a year?
Yeah.
$1 million a year, yes? So
Yeah. We were at
profit?
about 1 million a year or so. Software as a service is a very popular niche. You get very good multiples because you have the recurring monthly revenue. You know, when you're doing e-commerce or something like that, you have to rely on people, new customers each month. And it's like, okay, you might have had 200K in sales this month, but that's no guarantee you're going to have any sales the following month. But if you can get recurring monthly revenue, you've noticed most business, you know, like Netflix and everybody's has that model now. That's the most popular model now, is pay monthly. So it had very generous multiple when I was exiting. And then that gave me some capital to start investing. And that's what I've and then my goal with my YouTube channel was just, I want to help other people have the same freedom that I've been able to enjoy. So I do some crypto stuff, I do some other investing stuff, and then I do a lot of like side hustles of just like, hey, here's a way, an online business you could start, a digital business. I do a lot of advising for online businesses and digital businesses, people starting out. And I really enjoy it. I love business, love solving real world problems in exchange for money. So that's really what business is, and I enjoy it.
So what is the most common question, problem that people are asking you? I mean, entrepreneurs, for example.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, the most common question I get by far is, what should I invest in if I only have $500? And I tell people, nothing. You should find a way to get more than $500. And that's why I point them towards business, because you can't, people look at, Shiba Inu, for example. They're like, oh, somebody put in $100 and then they became a millionaire. That's just not the way that it usually works. For every one person that did that, there was 999,000 people who lost everything that they put into Shiba Inu or lost a big chunk of it. And so if you're starting with very low capital, I would not recommend that you go into crypto and start, okay, how can I turn $500 into $1 million? That's just not the general path that's going to work. I would recommend you start a business. You find a problem that needs to be solved, maybe in the crypto industry, but you find a problem that needs to be solved. You solve that problem, and then you charge people for it. That's what business is. And it doesn't have to be a 7-figure business. You can start with just, okay, I'm making an extra $1,000 a month from a little side hustle project. And it's like, okay, you can invest with $1,000 a month into Bitcoin or into BioFi or some of the, or Toncoin, and start making some financial progress. $1,000 a month, we can work with that investing wise. $500 just one time is not going to really get you much. So that's probably the number one question that I get, and that's how I answer it, is we need to find you a way to get some more income so that you have more that you can invest.
By the way, have you seen the Undercover Billionaire, the reality show with Grant Cardone?
Yes, I have. I love Grant Cardone.
10x baby, yeah, he's awesome. And that Undercover Billionaire show was also amazing. And by the way, he did around $5 million valuation after 3 months of being totally unknown in the different city, strange city.
Yeah. No, he's very impressive. And, he's one of those examples. One of the things I really want to do is just help educate people financially, because they say that if you redistributed all the wealth in the world, if you just took it all away and started everybody at the same spot, the same few people would end up with all the money again. And it's because they have the financial literacy, they have the financial education. They're not relying on other people to make them money, but they've learned, okay, I provide service, I provide value, I solve a problem, I get people to pay for that, I rinse and repeat. And so, Grant Cardone is a good example of someone who knows how money works, knows how business works. And so, yeah, I try to soak in what I can from people like that, and I try to get it from multiple sources. Grant Cardone on that side of things, and then like Warren Buffett. He's actually from Nebraska, where I live here in the States. And he's got great investing philosophy. And it's like you kind of just get all these different people, you soak in their knowledge, and then now you can have a strategy for what you're going to do financially.
Yeah, but Warren Buffett is totally opposite, totally
Yes.
different philosophy in making money, more long term, stable. Grant Cardone, when I saw the show, so different mindset that most of the people. He was thrown out in the city he has never been, with no phone number, no nothing, no friends, no money. He had $100, and he decided, I'm not using it. This $100, I'm not using it. And there was other participants, some ladies, yes, two of them, and they started, doing some businesses, some, doing some, making some friendships, etc. But he just went to the street and just stand there and just started to selling mattresses like crazy.
Yeah, he just made it happen. So, and I love that. And
The first day.
there's a lot of people who could do things like that. I mean, not as successfully as Grant Cardone. He's got a lot of knowledge that he's accumulated, but one of the things that holds a lot of entrepreneurs back is just not trying, just not doing anything. There's a proverb in the Bible that says, "Hard work brings profit; mere talk leads only to poverty." And I see a lot of people that talk about wanting to be rich, talk about financial freedom, but then I'm like, oh, what are you doing to take steps towards that? They go, oh, well, nothing. I'm not. That's not me. It probably won't work out. I probably won't be successful. And it's like, well, not if that. I mean, if you don't do it, what is Wayne Gretzky, a famous hockey player? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so that's one of the things I encourage entrepreneurs is just get started. You might fail. I failed in probably 3 or 4 businesses before mine that took off. And a lot of people around me, family, friends said, hey, just work your 9 to 5 and stop messing around with, people don't start their own businesses. That's not a real thing. And just get going with something. Find an idea and start going, and you'll be surprised what can happen.
So why you decided to start hustling? What is motivating you? What brings you so much energy in that daily effort?
Well, some days I ask myself that same thing. So there's some days where I'm like, why don't I just get a job? Why am I doing this? Because there is, they say entrepreneurs are the only people who work 60 hours to avoid working 40 hours a week. And that's definitely true, where it takes up more of your life, but you're the one that's in control of it. And one of the things that was pretty eye-opening is I started an e-commerce store for a company. I won't name the company, but I started an e-commerce store for them. We brought in $1 million the first year, and they said, hey, we want to congratulate you for bringing in $1 million. Let's have a big lunch pizza party. And I was sitting there at the pizza party, and I was just thinking, I brought them in $1 million and I get pizza. And I just thought that's not, I want my efforts, my creativity, the ideas.
Anyway, what year was that?
So that would have been probably 2012 or 2013.
All right. Okay. So think about it this way. If you would get that pizza, maybe it was 2 pizzas, right? And exchange it to some bitcoins.
That's true.
That days. It would be worth something.
Yeah, that's true. If I had sold the pizza for 13,000 Bitcoin or whatever that guy did, you're right. That could have been a very financially good move, but unfortunately, it was not. It was just pizza, and I just ate it, and so there was no long term benefit there. But really, I just wanted the fruit of my labor to go back to me. I wanted, hey, when I put in extra work or I have a really good idea, not selfishly, not greedily, but it's just like I want my outcome to be correlated with what I do. And so that's one of the things. Also, like I mentioned before, the freedom. There was a movie, Frozen. I'm sure that you've heard of Frozen. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But my daughter wanted to go to it. They were doing this big Frozen special where they had the characters came all dressed up and things like that. But it was in the middle of the day. So I went into my boss's office and said, "Hey, can I go to this?" And he said, "No, sorry. We have this deadline approaching." And understandable. I can't blame him. Like, it wasn't a super good reason. But I just thought to myself, you know what? I want to be in control of what I want to do. If I want to go on a trip, I want to go on a trip. If I want to take my daughter to go see Frozen, I want to be able to do that. So it was kind of those two things that really inspired me. I don't want to work for someone else. And I want to help other people. If they want financial freedom, they want time freedom, I want to help with that.
And so you are a salesperson at first. After that, you are an entrepreneur, and right now you are some kind of coach who is showing how people can make money by themselves. So I have a question, because as a salesperson, also because of my past and entrepreneur, I had plenty of different stories, crazy stories sometimes. So my question is, what experience or what stories you can bring here right now, and you can tell us about that, maybe teach you something, or was just crazy from your business, from your grounding, hustling. I had plenty of them. I had, by the way, stories. I have, by the way, stories about also manifestation, because I'm a huge I'm using manifestation all the time during my daily hustle, and I'm manifesting things almost every single day. I'm manifesting business, how I will, what I will get from the universe, etc. I'm curious. Do you use it or not, or maybe use different
Yeah,
ways
no,
to achieve your goals?
Yeah, no, those are great questions. So my faith is really important to me. So I believe in the Bible, and I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and I believe that God is my Father that's taking care of me. So I start every morning with gratitude to Him. I don't want to start. Sometimes I start my day thinking about the problems that are in my life, and that the financial difficulties, or what I have to do for the day that's stressing me out. And it makes it really hard to get out of bed when the first thing when you open your eyes, you're like, oh, here's a million problems in life. And so it's worked a lot better for me. The first thing when I open my eyes is I look around and like, what am I thankful for? Look at how far I've come. Thank you, Lord, for this house. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my kids. Thank you for financial freedom, that I woke up, at 7 a.m., but I don't have to be anywhere today. I don't have to go to a 9 to 5 that I don't like. So I start with that, and that really gets me motivated for the day. So then out of that kind of peace and joy that the Lord gives me, then, okay, now I'm ready to start tackling these problems. Because there are a lot of problems in life. Even when, that's one thing that people think, that as you make more money, your problems get less. It's the exact opposite. As you make more money, your problems get bigger, and there's more, you have more of them. They get more stressful. There's more consequences if you don't solve them. There's more people watching you. So if you don't do something correct, then there's more people attacking you and things like that. And so, that's another thing that I try to teach people too, is learn peace and contentment with where you're at, before you try to get bigger. Because people think, well, the reason I'm not content, the reason I'm not at peace is because I'm not a millionaire. And it's like, if you're not content and peaceful with what you have now, there's no way you're going to be when you're a millionaire. Okay. The millionaires are the most stressed out people that I've ever met. Every millionaire, they look like they've just been through the ringer quite a bit, because you just have all these problems. You have people coming to you for money. If you start hiring people, well, now you're not only responsible for your family, you're responsible for 12 other people and their families. So like when I was running my business, people would say, wow, you probably have such a stress-free life. And it's like, well, I have 50 or 60 people who are relying on me making the right decisions for their food. And so that's not less stress. That's a lot more stress. But just going to God and starting with gratitude, and then out of peace, you can start tackling these problems. That's kind of been my philosophy. That's what keeps me going. And yeah, I have tons of stories of crazy things that have happened, crazy business ideas that have failed, some that have done well, some that have not done well. I mean, I could go for hours there. I don't know. You just want any stories in particular, any subject in particular, or you just want me to rattle a couple? Oh no, I think I lost Julian. Oh, I'm the host now. Welcome everyone to Julian Crypto. Maybe while we're waiting, maybe Julian will come back here, but maybe I'll just tell a couple stories. That's what he had asked for. I'm used to this because on live videos, there's a lot of times technical difficulties. So this happens to me frequently. There he is. There
All right,
he is.
here again.
No, I was gonna just start telling my stories, because I know how it goes on these live videos. Sometimes there's technical support, and then it's like you just keep going, just work through them. It shows that it's authentic. So, but maybe I'll tell a story about one of my failed businesses. And the point of this story is to not give up. Okay. So there was an energy drink here in the United States that it was called cocaine. Okay. So the same name as the drug, cocaine. And it had cinnamon in it. So when you drank this energy drink, it burned. It felt like alcohol. It was, and so it was called cocaine. And Julian jumped back in at a good time.
You're talking about cocaine, yes? Tell me
Yes,
about
I
it.
did about cocaine. But there was an energy drink, and it was called cocaine.
You did cocaine, yes?
I did cocaine. Yes, much cocaine. But it was
Which part of your life?
so this would have been early college, but not cocaine the drug, cocaine the energy drink. That's the story of one of my first failed businesses. But it was an energy drink called cocaine. And me and my friends, we had an idea. We were going to start selling it on college campuses, because we thought college kids will love this. It's, called cocaine, and it's funny to tell you. Yeah, it's catchy. So we bought 10,000 cans of this energy
with
drink.
No marketing before.
We're going to go sell it on campus. We put in, it was $15,000 for 10,000 cans, which was pretty good. And then we were like, we're going to sell them for $3. We're going to make 15K and it'll be great. Then the state of Nebraska made the energy drink illegal. Soon after we bought all these, they said, hey, you can't have an energy drink called cocaine. That's just stupid. And so we could not sell these. So we were stuck with just 10,000 cans of this energy drink. So for the next 12 years, every time I was over at my friend's house, we would all drink a bottle of cocaine.
All right. So I know. What about your energy right now?
Yeah, right.
It's because of this.
Yep, that's why I'm going. That's why I'm going for sure.
Do you still have it?
No, we finished them off. So that would have been 2007 or so, but we finished them all off. So we no longer have cocaine. And it took a hit on my, like, I was like, oh, entrepreneurship is the worst. I shouldn't do this. But thankfully, if I had quit then, I would have never made it to my successful business. And I have many other stories of businesses like that. And a lot of entrepreneurs, Sometimes what makes somebody the difference between a successful entrepreneur and an unsuccessful entrepreneur is just, did you give up? Did you stop trying? So that's one story, one crazy story from something that happened.
Yeah, if I would have to count my unsuccessful businesses or ideas, it was plenty of them. Maybe projects or businesses, maybe 10 or 15, something like this. So plenty of them. Most of them failed. Maybe 3 was successful, and most of them failed. So I totally understand. Yeah, and what about your routines, your daily habits? Do you think about it? Because when I'm working, especially online, it's really hard when I'm working online. When somebody is working online who is not uh, developed in that habitat, and it's hard because you are watching only your screen. You are forgetting about your work after 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 hour. You're forgetting about the time, and time is passing, and you are working, and there are 2, 3, 4 hours. And sometimes in that short, in that time, you are doing the same task, the same task in 2 or 3 hours. So it's probably hard for most people to be efficient doing online business by themselves. I'm doing intervals. I'm putting my alerts every single, trying to do it every single, for example, 10 minutes. So after each 10 minute, there's an alert. I'm doing sometimes push-ups, meditation, breathing, or just lying back for another 5 minutes, and again 10 minutes interval. So I have different, my routines or things that I'm doing to try to be more focused during my day. So I'm curious about yours.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And it kind of varies just with different phases of life. I've got 3 kids and we have 3 college students that live with us also. So we've got kind of 6 kids living here. And so sometimes they're what they need. And we homeschool our 3 kids as well. So sometimes what they need can kind of take the problem if you make a routine that's too structured and too scheduled is then you're not open to the nuances of what life brings you in a day. And I've fallen into that before where I was like, get up at 5 a.m., work out 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., read my Bible 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And when I was in those phases, I did get a lot done, but I wasn't available to help. Oh, one of the kids is sick. And I'd have to tell my wife, sorry, that doesn't fit in my schedule
Yeah, I
today.
have the same.
And yeah, exactly. You know how it goes. And so things like that. So I'm a bit looser now in my regiments, but part of that is because I've come a long way where I've developed the financial freedom, and I've developed even now with my YouTube channel, I have 4 employees that I pay to handle collabs and to handle my community and to handle video editing and to handle my thumbnails and things like that. And I've done that so that, I can really work 10 to 3 really hard. And that's where I'm focused. And hey, please, nobody bother me from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. But then in the mornings, I'm kind of more relaxed and able to spend some time with the kids. The afternoon, I take the kids to jujitsu, and then we go to the library and we go out to eat. And so that's kind of been my schedule now, but it goes in phases. Like sometimes I'll have a business idea where it's like, hey, this is going to take a lot of work to get it going. And so I might even go out of town for a few days so then I can focus, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Let's just get this going. So it kind of varies on phase of life. I am a big fan of working out. Especially if you work on a computer all day. Our bodies were meant to move around. And so if you just sit there on the computer all day, the next day it becomes easier to just sit there at the computer. And the next day it becomes easier to sit at the computer. And eventually you're not even able to move anymore. So I play, softball and basketball, and I try to lift a lot of weights. I'm trying to stay in as good a shape as I can. Um, and drinking a lot of water. That sounds cliche, but a lot of times when I'm cranky or feeling unmotivated, a lot of times I take a drink of water and I'm like, oh, I was dehydrated. That my body was telling me I'm dehydrated. And
Yeah. What about coffee?
oh, I'm obsessed with coffee. I drink more than I should probably. But I love coffee.
How many
Cappuccinos.
cups a day you drink?
Probably nothing too crazy. So usually first thing when I wake up, I have a cup of coffee. And then after lunch, I'll have another one. And then here's something unique about me. I take a 20-minute nap every day in the afternoon.
All
Usually
right.
from like 3 to 3:20. I set a timer for 20 minutes,
But
lay
only
down.
once.
Yep, only once a day. And then, thankfully I'm able to fall right asleep and I wake up 20 minutes. Usually I have crazy dreams in those 20 minutes. It feels like I slept days. And then after that, I kind of treat my evening as like a new day, and I have another cup of coffee. And then now, okay, this day is going to be focused on my family. So I kind of leave work behind at around 3 o'clock, and then now, okay, now it's family time. I'm going to take them to jujitsu. And it varies. Sometimes there's things in the evenings I have to do work wise and things like that. But that's generally, so I'd say 3 cups of coffee a day. So nothing crazy.
Yeah, so similar like me. And about, for example, your diet. Do you believe in a keto diet? For example, only meat?
I would lean towards that, not strictly. Like I don't I'm not like anti-carb. Like I don't have zero carbs. But I do know when I have carbs, I feel more sluggish. And when I have more carbs, I put on more weight. I look less lean. I have less energy. So I do try to limit carbs. Like I'm amazed. We just got back from vacation, but when you're on vacation, we got donuts for breakfast. And I just thought, who invented bread covered in sugar as the first thing that you're going to eat in
Yeah.
a day? Like, I mean, that's recipe.
Losers.
Yeah, that's recipe for a terrible, terrible day, in my opinion. So I'm a big meat fan. There's a can of tuna is 160 calories, and one little scoop of ice cream is 160 calories. So it's about the same. But if you eat a can of tuna, that can almost be a full meal for you. Whereas, half a scoop of ice cream is like you're still hungry. So I've really learned if you focus on protein and you focus on meats and just getting as much protein as you can, you'll feel full, you won't be hungry, and you'll keep your calories down for the day. So yeah, I'm not strict about it. I don't get into ketosis, but I believe a lot in protein. That'd probably be my number one food tip: is eat as much protein as you can.
Nice. I'm doing ketosis most of the times. Most of the time, I'm eating steaks every single day, at least once, and different kind of meat and coffee. But I started doing it after I heard from Andrew Tate about his diet, and I was drinking no coffee at all. I was only eating keto, but no coffee at all. And I heard that Tate is drinking 16, 15 coffees a day. So I thought, maybe it's good time to start.
Do you also do you smoke the cigar through the day
No, no,
also?
no. I didn't. I didn't started smoking cigars.
That's probably good for your lungs. 'Cause I know Tate, he loves nicotine. He thinks nicotine is a super drug, kind of like caffeine. But yeah, it's just not, I don't know, for your lungs. I don't know that it's a route I would go. Um, but yeah, definitely love my coffee, love my protein, love working out. I love lifting weights. Like that's one of my favorite times is I'm just by myself lifting weights and I can think through problems. But yeah, I really enjoy all that.
So, what do you think about current situation in artificial intelligence and in how we can invest in this? For example, do you have some? coins that you are focusing on artificial intelligence?
Yes. So actually, one thing I just bought a AI company, AI education company. It's called aisimple.com. I just bought it last week. So we're going to be focusing on helping everyday people make money through AI, because AI opens up a whole bunch of new business use cases.
What's the ticker of this?
So it's not a crypto token. It is just a AI education platform, not crypto related, just AI focused. But a lot of people think that AI is going to take a lot of jobs. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I think people who know how to use AI are going to take the jobs of people who don't know how to use AI. So it's very similar to the internet. Like the internet didn't steal anyone's jobs really, but people who know how to use the internet stole jobs from people who didn't know how to use the internet. And so I think AI is going to be a similar thing where you should know how to use generative AI. You should know how to work these things into your businesses. I just read the other day that Zillow, for example, is using AI customer support to replace 500 of its agents. And so knowing things like that, like, oh, AI can do this, I think is going to be really, really big. As for crypto tokens that are using AI, I mean, there's the ones that everybody knows of, Near and Render. Those are ones. Those are kind of the blue chips. It's hard to know what's going to hit and what's going to not hit. I'm a big fan of Render. I think I like Fetch.ai. I think it's FET is their token. I really like Flux, and they're not AI specific, but as AI develops, they're going to need server space. That's what a lot of these tokens are actually doing, is providing processing power, because that's one of the biggest needs for AI is processing power. And so we're going to see a huge influx. They always say that whenever there's a gold rush, it's actually the pickaxe salesmen who make the most money, who do the best. It's the people who are able to provide the tools needed for that gold rush to happen. So that's what I'm always on the lookout for is, okay, if AI takes off, AI computing power is going to be one of the big needs out there. So who is there to to take care of that need? And that's where I'm looking to invest. I prefer that rather than speculative AI, doing weird AI stuff. We just don't know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit. What we've seen a lot too with these new AI companies spinning up is that Microsoft or Google will have an AI company spin up, but then Microsoft and Google will end up doing that same thing for free, and then they'll do it better. And then that company no longer has any purpose. It's like, well, okay, you can get it with Google for free and it works better. And then they go out of business. We saw this in the .com boom back in the early 2000s as well, where all these, there's a .com boom and all these .coms blew up. But then some of the bigger players, Amazon put a lot of .coms out of business because, okay, they're doing it better, cheaper, it's more extensive, get everything in one spot. So I'm mainly looking at who can provide tools for AI. So like Flux, I mentioned, Render is another one. That's what I'm mainly looking at right now.
Have you seen the newest feature on Max Data app?
I have not.
Check this out. It's genius. For example, here. Yeah. News from crypto market, crypto projects in real time.
That is very cool.
Yeah, with real life summarization of the news and predictions.
That's very cool. I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, check this out. It's really cool.
But yeah, I love the possibilities it opens. Like, for example, I'm not a great writer. I'm not a great, if I want to build a training course, it used to be okay, I have to think through the structure of this training course, and all the brain power that would go into that would just be a lot. Whereas now you can use AI even for simple things like that. Like, I want to make a crypto training course. Here are in general the topics I want to teach. Here is the target audience. And then AI can spit you out, okay, here's an outline of what we would do in a training course. And then you can change that a little bit. Say, well, I want it to actually be a 15-hour long training course. What you put there is only going to be 3 hours. And then it'll give you some suggestions. Okay, how about this, this, and this? And then you can even go back and forth with it. You can use it as a brainstorm partner where you say, well, I don't want to topic about that. I don't want to talk about crypto taxes because nobody knows crypto taxes. So then it'll, go back and forth. But it just opens up so many opportunities for people to start their own businesses. It's never been easier in the history of the world to start your own business. You have the whole internet as your potential customer base. Not to rant too long, but it used to be, even 50 years ago, if you wanted to start a business, the only people you could service were the people in your neighborhood or directly around you. You had no access to anybody outside of that. And now we've gone from, so maybe you had 200 potential customers to now you have 5 billion potential customers, the whole internet. And then you have, AI that can help you with your graphics. I'm a terrible artist. And so that would hold me back, where it's like, oh, even a logo design, I'm gonna have to pay $1,000 for that. Now we have all this generative AI stuff to just kind of help fill in your weaknesses. And as you can tell, I'm really excited about it. But anybody watching who wants to start a business, I will help. I'll do what I can to help get you going.
So you have your online school, and if somebody wants to get more information about you, they can go to your website or just to your YouTube channel, to James Pelton channel, and there is a link to your website, passiveincomeengines.com.
Yes. Yeah. And I have many, many programs. I'm doing many, many things. So I would say, yeah, YouTube's kind of the hub of it all. As I do new things and launch new programs, they're always on there. Passiveincomeengines.com is my community, where, yeah, we focus on passive income. So side hustles, crypto, different passive income investments. And you can also check out jamespelton.me, which I'm going to be revamping here soon. I don't even have it there on my YouTube links. There you go. There's something I can fix. But jamespelton.me, that's where I'm going to be putting a lot of my different programs. And I have a lot of free resources. I have a lot of training courses and things like that.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot. I got a little bit for everybody.
It was great to hosting you. And yeah, we are already talking for 1 hour, believe it or not. But it was great to hosting you and listening. Your experience, it's amazing, especially because you did something that most of people are dreaming of. You sold your company, so I appreciate that. And what you are doing is really cool right now, because you have a great energy and you are just living it. So love it. Thank you, James, for being here. And hope that we will talk soon on another video. Maybe I will invite you another time and we'll talk about crypto or different things about business.
Well, thank you so much.
I really enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. So I love talking. And so this has been great. So I'm happy to come back anytime. So just let me know.
Awesome.